Hello guys, welcome to a new market outlook on my channel. Today I will discuss some pairs I will have a look at for next week, which I find interesting fundamentally and technically. And yes, let's get started with the first one, with the US dollar versus the Swiss franc. As you can see first in the daily time frame, we have a daily swing downtrend with this break of structure here. This means after this break of structure, we expect a pullback at least into the 50% of the range. As you can see here, we hit that 50% of the range, took out this liquidity and headed down lower. But you can see here a demand zone, a daily demand zone, which pushes price eventually higher. That's why I would like to see a move down, maybe to the weekly open, and then one move up, take out this liquidity into this supply zone, and in the supply zone, a 4-hour fractal change of character. This would be my dream scenario for USD Swiss. When you look at the 4-hour time frame, you can see here that we, like I said before, took out this liquidity and now had a fractal break to the downside. This means we are now ready to push a little down lower. Here maybe take out this liquidity, tap into this demand zone, and then push a little higher into this supply zone, and from here I want to short a pair. This would be the analysis for USD Swiss. Also fundamentally it would align perfectly with a little push higher and then the short trade. The next pair would be the GBP Aussie dollar. What can I say about this? First of all, you can see that we are also in a downtrend on the daily. You can see here we have an up and a down, here the break of structure. This means we expect a pullback, exactly like before, into the 50% of the range. You can see here that would be this zone here, but that has not always to be happened because the market is imperfect and that's not always the case. But you can see here a descending price action with this high, this low, this high, this low, this high. This means maybe a big move is coming, and I would like to see that all of these highs get taken out, maybe also this liquidity high, so that the market go up a little higher, take out all of this liquidity, maybe reach to the monthly open, and then I would like also to see a 4-hour change of character. So now, for now, I wait for a little move higher into the zone here, take out these liquidity highs, and then I will look for my confirmation as a 4-hour fractal break. The next pair would be GBP Swiss franc. Here you can see we had a very strong move down with this move down, and here above these highs are very much liquidity. And as you can see here, again we are in a downtrend with this high, this low, this high, this low, this high, this low. So, and after this break we hadn't had a pullback yet, so we just moved in a straight line down. That's why I would like to see that all of these liquidity highs get taken out. As you can see here, the premium versus discount, we see that the 50% of the range would be around this area. That's why my dream scenario would be that price head up higher into this supply zone, where also the monthly open lies, take out all of this liquidity, and then wait for a 4-hour change of character. For now, as you can see here, I took a pullback trade because I think that price now will go a little higher. It has not to go up like this high into this supply zone, but at least into the 50% of the range. So I took this pullback trade with a fractal break up here, and here you can see it tapped into the demand zone and tagged me in. So that's a trade I am in for now. Hope that it will head up a little higher into the 50% range, and from here I take a higher probability short. This trade is low probability because it's just a pullback trade, but it's okay for me to take this risk. Next I will discuss NZDUSD. Here you can see, very similar to the GBP Swiss franc, we had a break of structure here and a massive move down. That's why I expect a pullback. When I expect a pullback, when I have a change of character, here you can see at the 4-hour time frame we had a move down and move up, here a break of structure, and after this break of structure we had this break of structure, which this break of the high, which broke this low. That's why this signals to me that the internet trend is changing, and now I'm happy to look for a long trade. So I change into the 1 hour time frame. Here you can see it a little more clear. Move down, move up, break, move up, break of this high. So now I wait that maybe this liquidity lows get taken out, and then take a long trade after taking out this lows with the stop loss under the low, targeting a 1 to 2 risk reward. Although I believe that market will head a little higher, maybe take out this liquidity or form new liquidity with a range, take out this liquidity, tap into the supply zone, and then head down lower. That would be my game plan for NZDUSD. Next, CADJPY. CADJPY is a little more complicated, but I can break it down for you. As you can see here, we are in a bullish market structure with this high, this low, and then this high. But fundamentally, the bear is bearish, which took me to look for shorts, because the internal daily trend is bearish. As you can see here, low, high, just take out the liquidity, no break, then again a head down lower, and again a push up. So it's a bit complicated, but the trend internally is bearish. That's why I now look for a new lower low, especially take out all of these big liquidity lows, which is very much liquidity. And here you can see that the market took out this high, and this high. This means the only liquidity would be this high here, because the next liquidity is this high. And that's why I think that the market took out very much liquidity on the upside and now heads down to this equal lows, because there's very much liquidity over there, and the fundamentally for pairs are bearish. This means I now wait for the 4 hour fractal break. Here you can see the breakdown, break up, and here's the fractal low. To avoid this low get broken, then a pullback into a supply zone, and from here I want to short until these lows are taken out. So this is my game plan for GBP, CADJPY. The next pair is a very nice pair fundamentally, Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar. Here you can see we are again in a uptrend with this high, this low, and then this big move up. That's why we look into the 4 hour time frame, and here you can see when I draw in the range trading tool, you can see from this low to this high, here is the 50% of the range, means the discount. That's why I would like to see that this highs, this lows, and this low get taken out. The market comes back into discount, into this supply zone and this support and resistance zone. That's just extra confluence. I'm not trading support and resistance, but you can see clearly that this area is a naturally area of resistance, and when price comes back into this area, it will act as support. That's why that's a very nice extra confluence you can look at. And now you can see that the 4 hour fractal structure is bearish with this break up and here the break down. That means that this supply is in control, and that this supply will the market eventually push down lower. That's why I now look for the reaction of the supply zone and then wait. If price head down lower, take out these liquidity lows, and in this area here I then wait for a 4 hour change of character to go long. So, and the last one is the Nasdaq, where I saw that we are at all-time high, so it's a little bit difficult, but I think that it can be that the Nasdaq had a little lower with this 4 hour fractal break up and here the fractal break down. So this is an open area of supply with liquidity under the supply zone. So it's possible that price had a little higher, take out this liquidity, tap into this supply zone, and then head lower into the 50% of the whole range, taking out this liquidity and maybe this liquidity. It can be that the Nasdaq get a change of character again and head higher again. So yeah, that would be my scenario for the Nasdaq. Maybe I will look for these short trades if I get a 1 hour fractal confirmation inside this area of supply. But yeah, that would be the analysis for me on this weekend. I hope you liked it. Give me some recommendations which pairs I should analyze for you that are best that I find interesting and where the fundamentals align with the technical analysis. And there, hope seeing you again and have a nice week.